everyone, and welcome to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wilding the world over the platform they deserve. I'm your host, Aiden Ragland, and for today's episode, we got ourselves a big boy of a conversation here with a fantastic voice actor that you guys need to be hearing about today. Today's guest is Dontae Majors, a voice actor, singer, and digital artist whose big, bombastic voice can ring through every performance and project that they are part of. Dontae is someone that I've gotten to know thanks to the wonderful TipsyJHearts, because Dontae voices a major character for one of her projects, which we will definitely be talking about later on. And honestly, with the conversation that we have ahead, I am excited for you guys to hear about some of the incredible opportunities and then some that Dontae's been able to get. If you enjoy our guest, please make sure you support him with the links down in the description below. If you enjoy the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. I see that stuff, and it genuinely makes my day. If you want to go a little further with that support, may I recommend you check out the merch shop on fourthwall.com. That link in the description below. We have some sensational merch, including the brand new Pride merch. As we are in the middle of Pride Month of 2025 when this episode does drop, I think you would look fantastic while also supporting some fantastic, incredible people within the LGBTQ plus community by wearing some of the incredible new colorway shirts that we have of the logo, as done by the wonderful Roshan Galaxy. Whether it be gay, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, non-binary, transgender, any one of those variants, we have a wonderful colorway in both shirt and sticker form that I think you should add to your cart and look fantastic in today. But now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast. How are we doing today?
I am doing great, thank you.
Oh, good. I appreciate that. Thank you for, even though on such short notice, for taking time to actually be here and do this. It really is an honor and a pleasure. It's one of those, I'll definitely get a lot more into it when we actually get the conversation going and such. Though I have started recording to kind of, link up my audio or whatnot whenever we actually get to it or whatnot. But that was one of those, I've definitely heard about you for a good bit, especially with a more recent project that you've been able to take a part of, aka Tipsy, the reason why you're here or whatnot. I gotta say, you as Teddy, you knock it out of the park. You do a phenomenal job with that role more than anything else.
Oh, thank you so much. I remember auditioning for it, and I just threw in this voice, and that's the voice I came up with. I actually, when I did his voice, I actually kind of mixed in a bit of Brad Garrett's voice, and kind of threw in a bit of Baloo, as if he voiced Baloo. That's kind of what I did.
To be fair, one of the voice references I believe Tipsy did do was Brad Garrett from the Country Bears movie, if I remember correctly. So, that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Oh yes, I remember the document, the audition, the casting call,
right,
for it, and the list of references, and I remember Teddy from the Country Bears movie listed, and he was voiced by Brad Garrett.
Yeah, no, So I'll go ahead and say this now. I was going to say for when we actually get to the conversation itself, but I'm not going to lie. When Tipsy first dropped that casting call or whatnot, I was hoping to get the role of Teddy because I just love Teddy so much. And then whenever I auditioned for it, obviously, and then whenever I saw that you got casted for it or whatnot, and then I heard your voice for it, I'm like, no, Tipsy made the right decision. Tipsy made the perfect decision for it. All right, Dontae, before we really do get going, I must ask the icebreaker question of the podcast, if I may. Let's say you get to go to a desert island on your own accord. It's just you, alone with your thoughts. You get to kick back, relax, breathe. You truly enjoy yourself for a little bit. With accommodations. I shouldn't say desert island. I should say more like a island paradise away from society for a little bit with all the amenities and all the accommodations. More than anything else. To make... Ooh. Well, I'm going to edit that little bit out because that was a bad burp right there. To make sure you don't go completely insane on this island, you can bring one piece of media or one piece of art with you to help whoever kind of headspace you want on this island. If given this opportunity, what would that one piece be?
If I had to bring something with me on that island, that would be kind of difficult because um I would go for my laptop, but that just feels like 1,000 things.
I mean,
But
yes. So I mean, at least you at least you understand the parameters.
because I feel like I'm empty without it.
You know what? I can understand, and honestly, I would just allow you to have it to make sure that you'd be comfortable. But for the question purposes, we need to know what's the one thing. What is the one? The precious.
Ooh, the one thing I have, probably one of the plushes I hold dear to.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize. As someone that you can obviously have some of my own plushes or whatnot. Was the one plush that you got to like hold near and dear, like you gotta bring that with you no matter what.
It's actually kind of like it's been kind of more than one, but but if I had to go on one trip on that with just one plushie, I would say the Gengar plushie I have.
Oh yeah, the one I see in the background right there or whatnot.
Oh yes, that's actually a light that goes
Oh.
against the window.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
My plush is actually all the way in the back there.
Okay, valid.
And no one can see it.
Okay.
Even if I move back there, you can't see it.
I just realized your entire head was just blocking that bookshelf back there. That's incredible.
It's honestly crazy how this camera can even do that.
That's what we call That's what we call, I don't know. What's the word I would even use for that? Like, I guess perspective or whatnot more than anything else. There you go.
Perspective works.
There you go. I was going to say, I imagine, okay, so if you would want to bring like that plush or whatnot, like for the one piece of media, would it be like a Pokemon based thing then? Would it be like one of the games or one of the movies or whatnot?
I was thinking one of the games actually.
Okay. Is there one in particular that you would that would be like the instant I have to bring one. This is the one.
Ooh, it would probably be one of the current games.
Okay.
Or probably one of my favorite ones of all time, Black 2 and White 2.
Okay.
Specifically, I own White 2, so that's the one I would probably bring.
Okay. Was that like the one that like? I'm curious now because like, why is that the one that like the estate you go to? Is that like the first one you like actually took the time to dedicate and like complete or whatnot, or is it just like your favorite because of the aesthetic? Like,
well, Generation 5 is like my favorite out of every other generation.
Okay.
The Pokemon, the music, the entire like aesthetic, and even like the backdrop of everything, and it's just there's just a lot I like about it, including the collection of Pokemon I got.
Okay. No, honestly, that is a lot of love and respect for that generation. You're talking to someone that's a Gen 3 person or whatnot. Yeah, specifically Sapphire, and like especially when you were talking about like the music alone. Pokemon music is very underrated. I've got to go ahead and say that.
Oh yes, a lot of people give love on mostly the first two generations, and well, and the third and fourth as well.
Yeah,
but there's very little in comparison to the first four that I hear about for the fifth generation.
You know what? I can understand where you're coming from, and I respect that. But regardless, either one of the Pokemon games, whether it be Black 2 or White 2, that is your answer, at least when it comes to the media aspect. You're locking that in. Then if that's the case, I cannot think of a better way to start the Postmodern Art Podcast. Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. You will look fantastic in the merch that we have at the merch shop, fourthwall.com. Link to that is in the description below. And follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guest. He is a voice actor, singer, and digital artist whose big, bombastic voice rings throughout every performance and project. Welcome to the podcast, Dontae Majors! There he is. How you doing today, Dontae?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Oh, that's fantastic here, especially now that I'm getting the opportunity to sit down and chat with you. Like I said, your voice, you have a very unique voice that is both like recognizable in some, but yet like surprises me with the performance in others. And I cannot wait to delve into more or less like the process and what it's like for you to really bring that voice out more than anything else. But before we delve into what you're doing nowadays, I want to go back just a little bit and learn more or less the origin story of Dontae. What got you interested in the arts and animation and such in the first place?
For voice acting, I started a little late because like back when I was a kid, voice acting didn't really get into my interest.
Right.
A lot of people I've seen getting their interest in voice acting when they were kids, but for me, it was like when I was sort of in my late teens, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, I kind of thought of the idea of voice acting in my last year in high school, but then eventually I started making some videos where I just threw in my voice in there, and people liked the voices I gave. So I decided to a few years later I decided, you know what, I'll pursue voice acting.
Okay.
But also take notes from like a few things I've watched in previous years, even before I had the idea of voice acting, like stuff that goes as early as my early childhood.
Right.
So I kind of looked back at that as well.
Now I'm also curious as well. What were some of those like early childhood influences or whatnot? The stuff back then that you think kind of lend a hand to you wanting to get into voice acting nowadays.
As a kid, I used to well, I still kind of watch the Pokemon anime now, especially because there's some voice actors that follow me from there. But
Hey.
yeah, I've got a few followers that provide voice work on there. It's honestly amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, I've watching the Pokemon anime has got me some inspiration, as well as playing some of the as well as the Dragon Ball franchise.
Ooh.
I first got my start like playing the games, but then eventually saw the anime, and I just loved the franchise to death. I'm a little behind on Daima, but I'm at some point I'm gonna catch up to it.
Oh yeah.
For my early childhood, I grew up with the stuff that was made by Nelvana back then. So it was stuff like the Care Bears cartoon back in the 80s, and Babar. I grew up with that one.
Ooh.
Little Bear. There was like a bunch to list there, and some of them I didn't discover until like years later. Like trying to remember what one of them was. Dog City was one of them.
Okay. Now, I was going to say, like, even then, like, that list that you gave right there, that is a very wide and diverse, especially when it comes to, like, some of the performances or whatnot. Like, you know, the Pokemon anime and Dragon Ball, like, especially with the energy that those voice actors put into those performances or whatnot, like, it gives a lot of energy. And then you have on the opposite end, you got, like, the early childhood stuff, like the, you know, Care Bears or, like, Little Bear and all that kind of stuff, to where it's not as high energy. It's more like obviously like subtle and sweet more than anything else. I love that dichotomy more than anything else. It does lead me to ask as well, like you said you didn't seriously think about voice acting until, you know, close to your tail end of high school and such. What was the tipping point? What ultimately made you want to be like, maybe I should give this voice acting thing a shot?
By the time people complimented my my voice acting skills, because back then I created videos. I wasn't thinking of being like a full-on voice actor, but I was thinking of being an artist or content creator.
Right.
Because a lot of people got popular off like YouTube, but now I have a fear of that. So I just rather just pursue the actually like showing my talent.
No, honestly, that is extremely that mentality that you have right there of just like as much as cool as it would be to kind of have some of that stuff may have blown up or whatnot. It's definitely scary in hindsight. I mean, as someone that is also a content creator in his own accord, trust me, I have that fear all the way in the very pits of the back of my head. But also, part of me is like, if I do get successful, like I could take care of a lot of bills. You know, the give and flow. I was gonna say I can imagine some of the people may have given a interest in some of your voice acting stuff, like you said, with some of those early videos. I know whenever I was doing some of my research and seeing some of the art and the animation stuff that you were getting a hand into or whatnot, like it was really cool to see kind of a younger version of you, like trying to do basically all aspects of animation. What was it about animation in general that just really drove you to that field and even want to try it in the first place?
With animation, I've pretty much well I first started off as an artist while drawing,
Right.
and animation kind of got to my interest around the late 2000s. So pretty much when working on art, I just I took inspiration from like some D&D stuff,
Okay.
and then got like the fantasy style, but also I went through like a cartoon style, and I pretty much took notes from like there wasn't really many cartoons I watched as a kid back in the 2000s because I was like really paranoid when watching certain shows that came on.
Right.
But pretty much I think I took notes from like some of the shows I seen in my early childhood.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And also later on I kind of caught on with some shows like The Amazing World of Gumball, and looking back at some Don Bluth films, but that was like beyond my style back then. But and I did not take any animation classes. Well, I did take a little course of it back in my high school days, but
Okay.
it only taught me like the very few basics of it. And nowadays, when it comes to drawing, I have a completely different style that's a little more detailed.
Okay. Okay. No, honestly, I love and respect that more than anything else. Like, especially kind of, taking all those different inspirations, especially like going either looking forward or looking back and such, and seeing how you're able to incorporate that in some form or fashion. I know some of those influences. I I certainly caught a glimpse of that, especially with this one series I saw on your YouTube channel. What was it, the Sword Terrarian 40 or something along the lines of that?
Oh, that.
I have to ask, what was that all about more than anything else? Because I honestly, like I said, seeing how it is or whatnot, I can see kind of the young creativity in you kind of more or less coming out.
I honestly asked myself what what it's all about looking at that, because like it's honestly embarrassing to look at, because I didn't know this was before I even like took on voice acting.
Okay.
And my creativity was like a little I find it kind of weird looking at it now, because like I kind of didn't know how to write stuff back then, and I didn't have very much of a variety. But there was something in there, but
Yeah.
I just I was still actually thinking of bringing back those OCs.
Yeah.
And these characters, I actually came up with these characters randomly when I was in a hotel room at at one point. Thought maybe I should make my own series with these anthropomorphic characters, with this this owl named Sorty, who has my natural voice basically, and his best friend Guma, which is a big bear guy. And to contrast from my voice, I just go for a deeper voice with a southern accent. Back then, I used pitch effects because I couldn't even hit that flow.
How times have changed more than anything else, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, more than anything else, like I said, I love seeing kind of that young creativity more than anything else, like coming out right there. Especially like I said, with just a bunch of fun OCs, just doing stuff more than anything else. And it's really cool to hear that, especially after all this time, because you've had these characters for like what, over a decade at this point, like.
It's been a decade and a half since
it's been
then.
a decade and a half, but like even then to kind of have these characters and whatnot and just bring them back and just do sun, yeah, words are wonderful, aren't they? No, just fun, silly, random stuff or whatnot. There's always fun in that. I mean, what is a series but not just a random group of characters just doing stuff? Am I right?
I've had these characters. I think probably 2013 was the earliest I've shown off those characters.
Oh wow!
And also, yeah, I mean, like I was the only person doing every single voice in there. It was basically a one man show back then. Also, I didn't have any skill in animating, so I just use the first few videos I used MS Paint.
Oh wow!
Along with Windows Movie Maker.
Goodness.
Then eventually I used Adobe Premiere Elements along with it, and I used this other art program with it. And I'm thinking of getting back to animation, but I'm really taking my time. But currently, to draw stuff and hopefully get back to animation, I'm currently using Clip Studio.
That's incredible to hear more than anything else. Like I love that. Again, you had such a love for these characters that you decided to just basically go forth and just do it yourself. Like I said, make the one man show more or less. And it's cool to know that love is still kind of more or less there. That you want to bring them back at some point. And I imagine, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I imagine kind of that wanting to get back into animation is probably a side product of you getting more into the animation aspect, especially as you came to grow more and more as a voice actor. Like, I'm curious, when did it go from just like this general love and appreciation and kind of stuff and thinking, oh, I could potentially do this voice acting stuff, to a passion and truly wanting to make it your career? Like, when did you realize, I could potentially like spend the rest of my life being a voice actor?
After I kind of I've actually taken I had the decision of voice acting in 2017, but then eventually 2021 I just thought, let's take this professionally, since people like what I'm doing, and then I decided to make it a thing, and I started to like throw in some stuff on Casting Call Club and some other stuff, and eventually I booked my first role on, well, actually not on Casting Call Club, but I got it on, well, I got my first like official credit from auditioning for a project on Twitter, and this got me my first IMDb credit.
Oh, there you go.
Back then I didn't have my current mic. Back then I used a USB mic like I'm currently using right now.
Oh yeah, no, same here.
And I didn't have a studio back then either. Right. And looking back at that, I was surprised I got in, because like people actually surprisingly liked the quality I had for like any of the extra ensemble.
Yeah.
To be specific, that project I was part of is called the Lefresian Chronicles.
Oh, okay.
And that was for season 2, and season 2 was titled The Song of Shadows.
Okay. It must have been really cool then, especially like I said, for your first casting call, or your first like opportunity to really like get into the voice acting world, to be this like big ensemble, more or less like ensemble piece with so many incredible people, and they just couldn't help but get enough of like what you're doing with a simple USB microphone. I mean, it's amazing how much technology can help, right?
Oh yes, my USB mic also got me my first animation role as well. Okay, now I respect that. I mean, to be fair, especially seeing kind of the casting opportunities that you've been able to have and the roles that you've been able to garner or whatnot, like, I imagine it's not just technology alone. I mean, to be fair, like, you know, hearing you talk right now, especially hearing how you perform in these different roles or whatnot, you have a very, like, I love the energy and I love the passion you give in just about every single performance that you do. It does leave me kind of more or less curious, like, what is more or less like the process for you to go from, you know, hey, I have this role or I have this idea, something, to like finished product, really let it out there into the world. Like, what is the voice acting process like for you? Um, oh, I'm finding a way to how to put this. Well, uh, I'm not trying to answer this, but whenever I do voice acting, I even when it's an audition, I just take it to the next level.
Yes.
I totally take it to the next level,
Okay.
and nowadays when I'm juggling on voice acting, um, I just um, I just kind of treat it like it's almost a survival or a competition where it's just where I'm just throwing in auditions here and there. But even if I get rejected, I'm just a send and forget type of guy.
No, no, honestly, especially in this voice acting world to where it's very easy to get hung up on certain roles that you may or may not have wanted or whatnot. Having that kind of mentality definitely help you not only keep moving forward, but also get bigger and better roles. I mean, just looking at some of the roles that you've been able to have or whatnot, whether it be voicing in video games and such, or like being the voice of Gorgon or whatnot, or audio dramas or animation stuff. Wolf's Hotel, all sort of stuff. I will say one voice acting credit that caught me completely off guard was for you to have a couple of voices in a Kerbo Christmas Carol, more or less, with Terminal Montage. I have to know, how did you get the opportunity to voice something for Terminal Montage, especially when it's a role like King Dedede?
It was honestly a surprise to get like a message from Turtle Montage because I got it in my emails and from Turtle Montage, and I just it took me a while to realize it was him, and I had to just do a quick background check. I was like, oh, that's him.
Yeah.
And he recognized my King Dedede voice in this comic dub I did, and yeah, there were several videos where I did King Dedede's voice, and a lot of people seem to like my King Dedede voice.
I mean, I can certainly say, especially getting the chance to witness this as well or whatnot. You do really do it like I said, you do a good, strong performance. You really bring that energy that King DDD has more than anything else. I gotta refer you to my buddy Tay Draws. They are huge when it comes to like Kirby, especially with King DDD and such, and like just seeing like what could potentially be done there, or whatnot. I know that they have some fun when it comes to that character in general. Uh, wow, I don't. I had the words in my head and then I just lost it. Yeah.
It's okay. Also, I'm aware of Tadra's. I remember discovering Tadra's YouTube channel a few years ago. Also, there was a video years ago they did a voice in that I
Oh,
worked on.
oh my goodness! I feel so ill-equipped at this point because I figured that'd be something that I would have figured out or whatnot. No, that's incredible to hear. I mean, trust me, Tay is a good friend when it comes to this channel or whatnot. To hear that you two have worked with each other or whatnot, that's incredible to hear. I'm so happy to hear that. Um,
It's kind of been a while since we worked together, but still I just see Tay just their work is just amazing, to like voice acting to singing covers is just, and even like their art and just see them get all this recognition is just like, I'm so proud of them.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the fact that you got an opportunity to work alongside them, that's really cool. I mean, like you said, especially when it comes to the terminal montage stuff, I think what certainly helps with that is, like you said, the comic dubs that you've been able to have a hand in and such, of all different forms and all different, characters and such. What inspires you to just go forth and just make like a comic dub or whatnot? Like, what's the process like for you from going like, oh, this is something fun I love to read, to like, let me voice these characters and bring it to life?
With comic dubs, I don't know what started the inspiration, but I'm gonna take a guess and say the Gabbalette videos might have got me inspired for it.
Okay.
But also, a fellow voice actor colleagues has also done comic dubs, so that got me to where I am with dubbing comics.
That's really good to hear. I mean, especially seeing some of the dubs you've been able to have. I know for me personally, this isn't really a comic dub, but I gotta say, seeing you do the dubs of when you decide to voice Pokemon characters more than anything else, I love seeing those videos and kind of where you're coming from and how you kind of more or less deliver with them. I guess it goes back to that love of Pokemon that we talked about earlier. But like, what sparked you to just be like, you know what, I want to give these Pokemon like voices. Like, what if they could talk?
It went as far as with talking with making Pokemon talk. For me, this actually went pretty far.
Oh yeah.
This kind of went as far as 20 years ago from now. So I think it might have been when I was playing one of the Generation 3 games. So I want to say Pokemon Coliseum.
Okay.
And I was just randomly giving them voices as they were battling each other. And then years later, I decided to make it a thing called If Pokemon Talked. And a lot of those videos, I never expected to get that much views.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, I believe like your most viewed video on your channel right now is like a random dub from a where you voice Charizard or whatnot. It's got like what, over 800,000 views or something like that.
Oh yes, that has like a whole lot of views on me, and that was before I even had my current mic, or I think it might have also been a little before I've decided to take voice acting seriously.
Right.
But I have a second channel as well. A lot of people know the If Pokemon Talk from there, but some people might have forgot that I'm more active on my main channel than my second channel, because it's been like a long while since I uploaded from there, because like it looks like it's been on a long hiatus, because like it's been hard to get back to that, because I wanted to get back to a Pokemon Talked, but I'm still getting back to it. Actually, I'm thinking of still getting back to it, but it's just been difficult getting back to it, because basically they're kind of difficult to work on. It's really time consuming,
Right.
and since I've found my niche with voice acting, it's voice acting professionally, even it really got to me, and it's been hard to do my free time on If Pokemon Talked.
Right. I mean,
oh yes, and If Pokemon Talked, that was a video. One of the videos is the one that one of the videos I worked on. Tedros did it was one of the videos with the Lugia ride.
Oh,
with
okay.
Ash and Go.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, no, that's fair. I mean, obviously, you got stuff you need to focus on. Life is a thing. You can't just dedicate everything you can to making every single Pokemon talk, A, B, C, D, every single line of dialogue. If that's the case, you might as well just start a whole new series and just make like your own like creatures and then have them talk, make your own entire new animated thing or whatnot. It is a process, and I think I can speak for everyone saying we love and we respect that. I mean, especially like I said, whenever you take a chance to really like put yourself out there, especially with like some of the roles that I've couldn't help but notice as well is especially hearing some of the performances you have, and then hearing your voice right now. I'm really kind of taken aback because like your normal talking voice, it's nice and neutral, but you tend to have like a lot of bassy, deep voices that you're like to push out there into the world more than anything else. How did you discover that you had kind of more or less like that deep voice in you that you can really hone in on and use for acting opportunities?
Well, I kind of done voices like that for quite a long time, even if some of them sound more high pitched from back then. But I think I've just kind of always had like a lower range on me. But I didn't have much of a range on me as a kid, but like and plus I was like speaking in like a much higher voice, and I believe I had a kid's voice up until I was like 17 at least.
Okay.
And then even going back to my early 20s, I still had a much higher voice than I do now, but then I just I think at some point as like a young kid, I spoke in a lower voice, but lower kid voice, but it's but if I talked like that now, but I think I might have been afraid of hitting puberty at one point, but then I just end up speaking like this about my entire time, and um
No.
I feel like if I spoke like how I did before, it would sort of sound more like this now. It would sound more like this, but a little less strained. Like, I don't know. My voice. I feel like my voice kind of sounds strained, but it's just me.
No, I totally get that. And even then, having that little like subtle change right there, you sound like a completely different person for like a second there. Like I'm always amazed when voice actors have the ability to do that. Like as someone that's trying to get into voice acting himself, hearing kind of the range that you're able to have, whether it be kind of the higher notes, the more kid like voice more than anything else, like back then, to here you are right now, like. Again, with the voice you have now, and then being able to hit kind of those lower notes, really trying to communicate or what? Oh, there you go. Trying to really communicate with the people or whatnot. Like it's really cool to see that kind of that range more than anything else. It's that talent that you have. It's that gift that you have of like voice acting or whatnot. Like I I imagine that a part of the reason why you probably wanted to hit those lower notes is some of the characters that you may have admired for like years on end. I know that a character that you've admired for one reason or another that I can't help but notice is you seem to have an affinity for Pete from the classic Mickey Mouse series or whatnot. What is your obsession with Pete? I have to ask.
It all started in my first year in high school when looking back at the Disney villains. Um, yeah, so once I discovered Pete, I just like I realized he had this moment. He had this big moment in like the Three Musketeers movie, and I
Yes.
started watching at one point, and I just loved him to death. And and um, back then I was like, I love this character so much, but I think I might even have a crush on him, but I just wanted to keep that a secret back then in 2011 because I didn't feel safe. But
Valid,
eventually,
understandable.
but eventually I admitted it exactly a year from now, even.
No, there you go.
Because it's a start. Well, it's the start of June, so June 2024 is when I finally admitted that I have a crush on Pete.
I mean, to be fair, this episode is coming out on June 19th. All right, so we are like right stark in the middle of Pride Month. So yeah, this is probably the perfect time for you to be like, yeah, no, this is the guy that I would love to have like be my future husband. Like, let's be all stars here.
Yeah, but every time you see me on social media, especially Twitter and Blue Sky, I will just be like, every time I see a a clip of Pete or get reminded of Pete, I'm like, Pete, my beloved, and heart emoji, heart emoji, emoji, heart emoji.
I mean, to be fair,
yeah, that's pretty.
You've even gone above and beyond and done like a couple of dubs when it comes to voicing Pete or whatnot. Like, is he just like a fun character dub voice as well?
Honestly, I feel like I'm having more fun now because like in the past couple years, I just felt very nervous because I just felt like so much stage fright because I thought I was going to butcher his voice.
Right.
And the fact that I love this character so much, it was it was difficult to even just get in the moment there. But eventually, I kind of caught on to it with a few videos in the past couple years. The first video I did his voice in, I think, was a Epic Mickey comic dub back in early 2023. Either that, or it was that time where they introduced him on the at Disneyland, and it showed this video, and I just thought I would dub him for just funsies.
I mean, to be fair, like, I can understand where you're coming from when it comes to the admiration, because he is a fun character in the first place, like, more than anything else. Especially just seeing the different ways they've been able to, like, implement him and just have be just that fun villain that you can't help but laugh at more than anything else. Like,
oh, yes. nowadays I feel like he's not so much of a villain anymore because it's now like the Phantom Blot or like any other like Disney character that will interfere, like Maleficent.
Yeah.
Um, and when it comes to Pete, he has like so much range within his like his filmography. And considering this character is like 100 years old and still going, and still like a recurring character for Disney, it's honestly amazing. And I mean, Disney hasn't really done much with him except for like appear in like Kingdom Hearts games and like the Disney Junior shows.
Yeah. Or didn't he have like at least a handful of appearances in the more recent like Mickey shorts or whatnot?
Oh yeah, that as well.
Yeah, yeah. I will say I loved whenever I was doing my research and whatnot. I saw that like you have so much of a love for Pete that you were willing to go out of your way to get like a plush all the way from Japan from him, which is him during like his Kingdom Hearts thing or whatnot.
Oh yes, actually, I have that now. I mean, like it was like I just kind of took a risk of like of going to eBay because like I wasn't too sure of it, but it was like I realized uh there was someone that was just selling stuff from Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and I went ahead and just bought one of them, and it came to my door,
Yeah.
and the plush came to my door. And actually, it wasn't Kingdom Hearts themed, and a
Oh.
lot of people seem to mistake it, but it's actually based off the Donald Duck 90th birthday celebration in Tokyo Disney.
Oh, okay, that makes. I'm sorry because like I see like the uniform or whatnot, it makes me think of like his outfit they had in like Kingdom Hearts. But now that you say that, okay, that makes so much sense. It really does. I mean, still a good outfit
Yeah,
at the
there
end of the
was
day.
yeah there was yeah, in Japan there was in Tokyo Disney there was a I saw videos that there was a big parade of Donald Duck's 90th birthday, but also they decided since Pete was turning 100, they decided to introduce him to another to that park as well. But
Mm.
as Disneyland was the first to do it, to introduce him, they just had a character as the mayor, um, like do a little announcement, and then Pete just randomly appears on the stage, and the mayor just introduces him to the audience. But in Japan, what they did in Japan was actually his reveal was like he was on a float. It was another parade thing.
Oh wow. I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't deny the big bombastic personality that is good old Pete.
Hmm.
Goodness. I mean,
I
like,
love him so much.
oh, he's such a great character, and I wish that like he needs to have like just his own like little one-off adventure. Like, just give me a movie of just Pete like trying to like sneak in and slide his way like through every situation before like having obviously like the I guess the hero's dilemma like towards the tail end. It has to do good for once or whatnot, but still like. With how much fun of a character he is, and especially all the different appearances that he's had or whatnot, he is a fun character. I cannot deny you on that one. Um, I could see why you were ready to husband him up. Anyways, no, but like especially like voices like that, like a voice like Pete's or whatnot. Like I imagine there's like a ton of inspiration like of that voice as well as a bunch of other like deep voices that you put into some of your other roles. I know the one that at least for me I hear like the best example of that deep voice is you recently taking up the mantle of a fabulous character for someone that is very personal to this podcast. In fact, she is the co-showrunner of this podcast. You are the voice of Teddy for TipsyJHearts Cupid's Club. Now I'm curious, how did you even hear about this part in the first place, and what inspired you to go forth and try to get that role of that lovable big old dog?
Oh, you see, a lot of anthro-styled animated concepts really catch my attention, even if it's an auto drama or like a visual novel.
Right.
Um, I just saw the opportunity on Twitter and I just went for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I I didn't just audition for Teddy, but I also auditioned for, I think, Ludo as well.
Okay, okay.
And Tipsy loved my take on Teddy, and was honestly surprised to get cast because, um, well, I was on a roll that during that time, but I was honestly still surprised since I was still on a roll. It kind of slowed down the last few months, but I think it's picking back up again.
Right, right. I mean, to be fair, like I had kind of said in the intro, if I decided to lead that little bit in or whatnot, I was also one of the people that wanted to get the role of Teddy. Like ever since Tipsy first introduced Teddy or whatnot, Teddy has been my personal favorite character out of the Cupid's Club or whatnot, and so like that's why I wanted to try like give my own take and try to see if I could voice it. But then I was heartbroken to hear that I could not voice the character. But then I heard your performance of it, and I'm like, oh, he's got this. This is his. He is Teddy. You are Teddy. I'm putting that like point blank. Like you, the way you're able to like again give that like really low and gravelly, but also like kind of heartwarming like deep voice more than anything else. Like I just love your take when it comes to it more than anything else. Like this is me officially being like. At least to you in person, well, not like I am not worthy. This is your role. Do not have to worry. Like I can only imagine like for you like it has to be fun to like get this opportunity, especially in this unique fun little world that Tipsy is kind of cooked up or whatnot, to be able to provide a fun character at the end of the day.
Oh yes, the artwork and everything is just so adorable, and being a part of it, I'm just so glad to be part of it. I'm so
Absolutely.
thankful to be part of it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like I I'm so glad whenever Tipsy like reveals any sort of like new animatic or any new like drawing when it comes to that world or whatnot, and for you to be able to provide a voice for one of the different ways of love or whatnot, like you know, I think she made the perfect choice when it came to who should voice that lovable again like I just want to give Teddy like the biggest hug every single time I want to see him or whatnot because he is just that lovable of a character, and like I said, especially with your voice really providing that good like warm feeling or whatnot. Like I feel like no matter what, I can hug him, he'll just be like, "It's okay, it's okay." There could be nothing wrong with my life, and that will just make my life so much better no matter what. Um,
Yeah, he'd be like, he'd be like,
Yeah, it's okay, kid. Just cry it all out.
like that.
oh, you did it so perfectly. Even though it was off hand, you did it so perfectly right there. Oh, I love it. Fuck, sorry. Sorry. My heart it swells just hearing that voice. Like I could go on gushing about like just that voice in general. Like it does leave me kind of curious because obviously like that's one example of a chance you got to express your voice acting capabilities or whatnot. And you have had like a lot of roles. Like I feel like we've only like scraped the surface or like barely touched like all the opportunities you've been able to have. I'm genuinely curious what has been like your favorite roles so far. Like what's been like you know the best opportunities for you, whether it be like the type of voice you're able to express or the insane worlds that you're able to like explore. Like what has been your favorite performances so far?
Um, Honestly, I feel like my favorite performance. It's hard to rank them all, but I've been Teddy has definitely been growing on me, especially since I've seen so much appeal about him, and considering he's this big old teddy bear type of guy, it just feels so much to me, so real to me to be doing his voice in general.
Oh, no,
But also, another one I would rank is my voice for Mammon Jr. for Of Course Traveling Circus.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, no, I can only imagine, especially with a voice like Mammon. I mean, it's kind of a different pitch, but kind of in the same realm when it comes to like Teddy with that kind of like deep, like really expressive voice more than anything else.
The only difference is with Mammon Jr. His voice is kind of all over the place, but still in kind of a low range
Right.
and gotta roll. When doing his voice, I've pretty much taken notes um, from the late Ken Page, and I was like really heartbroken hearing that passed away last year.
Right.
And I felt so lucky to meet him back in 2021.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw the
Yeah.
video that you posted not too long after he had passed away of your virtual like meet and greet with him, which I mean like, especially for a character a guy like Ken Page and like the kind of voice that he can, I can see how you can take inspiration from a voice like that.
Yeah. And at the same time, I was also thinking of like doing a cover of one of the songs he did as a tribute. Except last year I was still so shocked from that time he passed, but also at the same time I was still going through a lot of stage fright
That's
for like singing covers, and I still kind of get that feeling, but not so much anymore. But it's like I don't know whether to call it stage fright, because I'm not in front of people, I'm not in front of an audience,
Yeah.
but I'm just in my booth. But I'm just worried how the performance will all play out.
Right.
Also, last year I was not in a good condition.
That is extremely valid. That is extremely understandable. And honestly, like the last thing that anyone would want is for you to try to push yourself to a point that you don't feel comfortable in more than anything else. I mean, it's still stage fright, because stage fright at the end of the day is just like a form of anxiety in one form or fashion, and that kind of anxiety to perform for an audience, whether they're actually there or just miles away on the internet or whatnot, that fear is always like, I understand where you're coming from, and I can see where you are coming from when it comes to that. But like, I will also say the covers you have been able to put out or whatnot, you've really done a fantastic job, like really like knocking them out of the park and like really putting yourself out there when you can. Like I know it's not the easiest, especially in today's, you know, in today's world, it's really hard to really put yourself out there, but the opportunities that you have been able to do so in both song and, you know, comic dubs, voice acting opportunities and whatnot, you've really done like a really good job really putting yourself out there. Like I cannot tell you how much I've loved, especially doing research for this episode, like all the different voices you've been able to express, all the different ways that you've been able to have a fun little take on a comic dub or whatnot. Like it's gotta be unique. Like it's got to be at least somewhat rewarding for you at the end of the day to like get over that little bit of stage fright, to put something out there and to get like a really good reception at the end of the day of people just being like, this was really fun, or this is really cool, I'm so glad I got to hear this.
Oh yes, it's very rewarding after I finish the recording. That kind of rhymes. But also it just feels even more rewarding after I just like finish the video.
Yeah.
Or finish mixing the song. The latest song I've uploaded on my YouTube was this one. I was a little skeptical still, but I did a cover of "There's Nothing Holding Me Back" by Shawn Mendes, but I did it as a joke, as well as Don Carnage from Tailspin.
It was still fun to hear that whenever.
But a more serious cover, my latest one was on a more serious note, I would say my cover for "When We're Human" from Princess and the Frog, because that's like one of my favorite Disney movies of all time.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I was gonna say, like, you know, speaking of Ken Page or whatnot, like, you know, you said at the time you were in shock and not in a good headspace when it comes to like doing a cover in honor of him. But I mean, you know, I'm sure his birthday or maybe the anniversary of his death is coming up. It'd be a nice little tribute if you feel up to it, to like put it out then as kind of in memory. If you're in the proper headspace, obviously. Don't push yourself if you're not in that proper, you know, headspace. But it's always fun to hear a good cover, especially when, I mean, you know, the wide selection of songs that Ken had more than anything else. I mean, talk about the Oogie Boogie just in general from Nightmare Before Christmas. That alone is a good performance.
Oh yes, I know I'm definitely gonna do that. Hopefully this October. For those who know me, who know my YouTube channel, you never know, it might happen.
Well, hey, you know what? Here's the hope, and more than anything else, at the end of the day, like, you know, it's really cool to see, especially in just a short amount of time that you've been able to really put yourself out there and such. It's been really cool to see how many incredible opportunities you've either created for yourself or opportunities you've been able to earn because of the incredible acting you've been able to put out there or whatnot. Like, it has to be surreal for you at the end of the day to think that, like, wow, I've been able to get so many, like, incredible chances to really express myself like never before.
Oh yes, it means a whole lot to just uh, to just have all that. And the other thing is, before I took on voice acting, I actually did not have any acting experience,
Okay.
and I actually never I actually never taken theater.
Really?
I never have.
Wow. I mean, that kind of makes sense whenever you say like the stage fright kind of aspect more than anything else, but also like seeing how much of a performance you've been able to give. I would have figured you've at least been in like one play or something like that, but wow, that is incredible more than anything else.
Oh yes, I've been asked that quite a few times. Some people heard my covers and were like, have you ever been in musical theater and I or any type of theater, acting, drama? And I reply with, I actually haven't taken any of that.
That is insane to hear more than anything else. Wow. I mean, you know what? You could have had me fooled. You could have simply been like, oh, yeah, no, I've done like 4 years of theater or whatnot. I actually went to Juilliard for like a hot second, but I decided that was like, you could have bullshitted your way for like a second there. I would have totally believed you.
If any consolation, the closest thing that happened is that I just got a few singing lessons during the pandemic.
Okay. Okay. Hey, that's
although it was for like a short amount of time, but it was worth it. But I still had like extreme stage fright that was preventing me from doing any song covers.
that's understandable.
But also I've been taking some voice acting workshops as well.
Oh, that's cool.
When I took my voice acting professionally as well.
That is incredible to hear. It's good to know that you're actually like serious about this field and actually like going forth and then like trying that like professional stuff, especially, you know, again, seeing where you kind of went from then to where you are right now, getting some cool opportunities. It does lead me to ask, because obviously, you know, at this point, you've only scratched the surface when it comes to potential opportunities that you've been able to have. There's got to be that one role or that one type role that you're just itching to get the opportunity to try. Like, is there a certain character or a certain type of character that if given the opportunity, like tomorrow, you would voice it in a heartbeat?
Oh, voicing an elephant.
An elephant
still hasn't happened. I mean, it's my favorite animal.
Okay.
And like, I remember auditioning for one of them like not too long ago, but I didn't get the part. But it went to someone else. But but it was still a fun audition.
Well, do you hear that, creators out there? If you have an elephant that needs to be voiced, Dontae is ready to go. Like, give him that opportunity. He wants it badly.
And considering I've done like a video where I just did impressions of like of elephant characters, I managed to find like over 75 of them.
Wow.
Even from like a bunch of obscure stuff, and I managed to. I mean, it was honestly a lot of fun.
Well, there you go. Again, like, technically, Dontae has experience finding random obscure elephant characters and finding the way to voice them and whatnot. I imagine that's also partially why you loved, what was it? Didn't you say you enjoyed Barbar, right? That was an elephant character, right? Or am I thinking of someone else?
Babar, yeah.
Babar.
Yeah, I enjoyed that show when I was like really young, but at some point I kind of dipped out of it because like
right.
I became a little skeptical of cartoons around the mid 2000s, but around the early to mid 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
But I got back on it when it got back on the air, and I was like, this has such a charm to it, and looking back at it now, it's just so adorable, and it's just like the show is like a warm blanket,
right? It really is, especially with the way they're able to tell their story or whatnot. Like, honestly, like thinking about to like where you were back to, like, even taking a step back, thinking about how like back then having that love for like the cartoons or whatnot to eventually like taking it seriously and wanting to be a part of it, especially when it comes to the voice acting aspect, to here you are right now getting these like incredible opportunities after opportunities or whatnot. Thinking about your kind of art journey as a whole, does it amaze you more or less how much you've been able to develop as an artist?
Well, I feel like I'm still developing as an artist, but
Right.
it means a lot that I've just evolved a lot from in comparison to the last 10 years.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, even in what's relatively a short amount of time, you've been able to take leaps and bounds and do some incredible stuff. Like, it's good to see that growth as an artist in one form or fashion. And in fact, for this next question, if I may, why don't we just go above and beyond? Let's take a few extra steps in May, and I want to give you more or less the dream scenario. Let's say I am Big Shot Mr. Moneybags. I come up to you, I'm like, look, Dontae, we know there's something incredible here. There's a gold mine waiting, like, right in front of us. You just need a little extra push, a little extra platform to get you to that point, more or less. We have access to everyone and anyone in whatever industry possible, and more money there should be possible. We really should be compensating the artists and animators and such that really try to get a living wage, maybe give them some health shirts, all that kind of stuff. We'll get to them, promisely. We will get to them eventually. We promise. Hashtag stand with animation. We promise, we promise, we promise. But for now, we're focused on you and you alone. If given this opportunity, what would be the dream Dontae Majors project?
The dream project?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's a tough one. I think, considering I had some, like, OCs, original characters I've made as early as first grade, and I held on to them, even though the last time I drew them was probably in my teen years.
Right.
I'm thinking of bringing these guys back
Okay.
with a more modern design, with more modern designs on them.
Okay.
But still maintain the designs I gave them from back then. But just to show you, it's the same character at least.
Absolutely, absolutely. So hey, I'll tell you what. We'll give you just that full on. We'll give you a studio where you can make those characters and you can bring them to their fullest element. Like you can have a lot of fun with them, make them look as sleek and stylish as they deserve to be. All that jazz.
Oh yes. I just remembered. When I said my dream voice role, I mentioned voicing an elephant would be a dream. Another dream come true is well, there's not much current characters out there that are like my top favorite. Okay, there's a few, but especially in Disney. But for like Disney characters, it would I mean like it would be cool to provide a voice of one of the major characters that I could really just pull the voice off. But I'm kind of non-specific on it because like you never know what you get.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, regardless, getting the chance to provide a voice for a major character in any sort of Disney animated project or whatnot, that's pie in the sky for any voice actor I can imagine.
Oh yes, honestly, yeah. And probably but if any like my biggest dream role for voice acting, honestly, if they brought back Thundercats and She-Ra and He-Man, if they ever brought back Brave Star, which is another Filmation thing.
Oh yes.
Honestly, it would be amazing. It would be a dream to voice 3030, his humble steed. He's like a straight up badass.
Right?
It would be so awesome to do his voice.
Oh, I can only imagine at that point, especially with a show like that. That was a killer show. No, that'd be awesome to get like any sort of role like that, especially those specific roles. Like, hey, let's wish this into existence, shall we, people? Come on, let's do this. But sadly, we do gotta come down from the dream scenario. We do gotta get back to reality, and I'll ask the ever so generic question: where do you hope to see yourself in, say, 5 to 10 years from now?
In 5 to 10 years, probably might be in the same spot, but voice acting wise, I'll definitely be in a lot of different places in comparison to where I am now. But it feels like I'm in a lot of places, but I'm probably going to be in a whole lot of places for voice acting. Probably right after I make a few adjustments to my studio.
Right.
I'm still kind of making adjustments to my studio, but currently I'm making one that's just gonna like dampen the echo, because I can still hear echo when I just edit my lines, and
Right.
some studios can probably still hear them as well.
Right. But even then, like if all you are hoping to be 5-10 years from now is just kind of better studio equipment, but just still doing incredible roles one after another, who are we to complain? As we start to wind down the interview, I just have one last question I want to ask you, Dontae. Obviously, you are deeply entrenched in art in one form or fashion, especially now more than ever. How important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
Oh, I think art is and the word's not coming up, but it is it means a lot to me, honestly. And seeing the fact that people are using AI is just like very disheartening.
Yeah.
And people are using AI as a weapon to like hand drawn stuff or things done digitally. It's honestly tough. It's honestly a tough world we're living in right now.
Absolutely. I agree, and I can only hope that the human element when it comes to art really shines through more than ever, especially because given how AI can honestly just go fuck off, if I could just be blunt. But I think that is wonderfully worded, if I do say so myself.
As an anti AI person myself, I definitely agree.
There you go. Dontae, that is all the questions that I have for you. I've already showered you with Lord knows how much praise at this point, but I'm going to shower you with a little bit more because it's my podcast. I do what I want. Dontae, like I said, ever since I first gotten the chance to really get familiar with your voice in the first place and then really doing this deep dive to see more of your stuff, I've been excited to really get a chance to chat with you because I know that, like, I can tell that there is a lot of love and passion that you put into just about every single role that you get a chance to do. Like, I can really tell you really give your all and you give everything you can to whatever the role might be, whether it be something as simple as a comic dub that you just love to do, to something as big as providing a major voice for like a video game or a animated series or an audio drama or whatnot. Get the chance to sit down and chat with you, especially right now, hearing how much of a reward, but also how much of a struggle it can be sometimes to really be in this kind of world. Like, it just gives me a lot more love and respect for you at the end of the day. I sincerely hope nothing but the best for you because I can tell that this is something that you truly want. This is a world that you truly want to be invested in and want to really give it all you can. And I think you can do a phenomenal job because you've done a phenomenal job so far. Like, you know, hey, take a shot every time I say phenomenal or fun or, you know, opportunity. And I swear I'll give some people alcohol poisoning, but that's aside from the point. The point I'm genuinely trying to be at, the point is genuinely, I can tell that if given the opportunity, you could do some fantastic stuff in this voice acting world because you've done fantastically so far. And it makes me excited to see whatever roles you get next because I know you're going to knock it out of the park every single time. The long and the short of it is thank you for what you do. Thank you for putting yourself out there, even though it's not easy to do so sometimes. And I sincerely hope that you get more and more incredible opportunities because I'm going to be rooting for you every single step of the way, every single new opportunity you get. So, thank you.
Honestly, thank you for having me on as well.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Trust me. Especially whenever Tipsy said, like, hey, you know, I could potentially have, you know, Dontae come on. I'm like, yes. You've already heard my enthusiasm for your performance. So I'm like, yes.
And also, it's an honor to just hear all those amazing compliments. It just means so much.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, I'm here to root for you. All right, so trust me, I got your back. If you ever feel that moment of like stage fright, it's like I don't know if people are gonna enjoy this. Just literally shoot me a message. I'll be like, you got this, Dontae. You got this. I will encourage you every single chance I get. But if you want other people to potentially encourage you every single opportunity that they get, and if you want people to know what in the world we've been talking about the entire time, go ahead and plug yourself for the people at home. Where can people find more about you?
You could I have a website. It's really just a card, but card type of website, but it's DontaeMajors.card.co.
Okay.
It's card spelled CARRD.
Mm-hmm.
But for social media, I'm still active on Twitter. I refuse to call it X, but
you and me both.
Yep. And I'm also sometimes active on TikTok, on Insta, YouTube. You'll see me upload videos there.
There you go.
And I also have a Blue Sky as well.
Well, there you go. I'll be sure to have all those links and then some in the description below in case anyone needs to figure out where to find you. I will also be linking the first episode of Cupid's Club so people can see your fantastic performance as Teddy as well. That's going to be probably like the first link I put in the description.
Just remember, it's all at Sorty40, at Sorty40.
There you go.
That's where you'll find me.
Perfect. Do you have any final words before we sign off?
Probably a few things I forgot to mention earlier, but considering I'm wearing a Darkwing Duck shirt right now,
hey,
that is my favorite cartoon of all time.
Yes,
and I forgot to mention that watching and discovering the Disney Afternoon stuff around probably the late 2000s or the early 2010s, that got me inspired to do voice acting as well.
Okay.
And my hero for voice acting is Jim Cummings.
Yes.
And who also voices Pete. but I just felt ever so inspired from his voice acting. Like, you could just recognize his voice, but they sound like different characters, but you could just tell it's him, but it's just like, he's still got range, though.
Wait, Jim Cummings is an absolute legend.
He is a legend. And also, he's the first voice actor I've met at a convention.
Oh, really?
Well, it was during the pandemic, but the first convention I went to was back in the mid-2010s, but I didn't meet any voice actors by that time. So the first one I went to was a virtual event at a GalaxyCon, so I just got the opportunity to meet Jim Cummings that time. Nice. And it was at a Goofy Movie panel during that time, so I felt lucky enough to meet him.
That is incredible to hear. I was gonna say, like, you mentioned Darkwing Duck. I used to love Darkwing Duck so much. It was such a key part for me growing up. I remember at one point, my older brother told me a lie once that apparently, like, in some countries it was like a curse word or something like that to say the full Darkwing Duck. Again, I was young and I was naive, so it's like you would either say like just Darkwing, Dark Duck, or Winged Duck. Like, you can say two of them, but you can't say all three, or else it's very bad for you to say that. Again, I was young, I was naive, I admit.
Well, as far as I know, with other countries, some of them he's just given different names.
Okay.
I can't remember, but I heard that he had a different name in Germany and France. Okay. In the Latin American languages, he has a different name. But in Japan, he has the same name.
Okay.
But as far as I know, with Darkwing Duck, he had just there is a dub of it, but it's just like lost media at this point.
Ooh.
The only time I could ever find his voice in Japanese is that Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie where he makes a cameo at the end.
Oh yeah, that.
And what's interesting is that his Japanese voice is the Japanese voice of Frieza.
Really?
Just hearing that voice out of Darkwing Duck just suits him so much.
That is very. You know what? You learn something new every day, right? No, I mean I used to love Dark Week, especially you said Jim Cummings or whatnot. Like that is someone that's on my bucket list of someone I need to talk to before I die. Hopefully on this podcast. It'd be a dream to bring him on this podcast or whatnot, but
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
absolutely. But with that, all I have left to say is for the people at home, if you can, please pay your artists.
Tell me what's wrong, tell me it's parts in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can all open. Show me it all, pick me up in the car you drove when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this is your first time listening, I greatly do appreciate it. Thank you, Dontae, if you've gotten up to this point as well, for taking the time to do this conversation. It was a pleasure to chat with you, sincerely, and I hope you do get more opportunities with your voice acting stuff. Like genuinely, I could tell there's a lot of talent with what you got going on. I'm genuinely surprised whenever I get incredible opportunities to talk with incredible people, especially with how chaotic times can be. I'm sure you all are aware of, obviously, when the time that we are recording this, all the chaos that's going on across the world at this point. I'm also personally dealing with my own little bit of chaos. I talked about this on Blue Sky, but for those that, for some reason, don't follow me on there, because, it's weird. You guys should follow me on Blue Sky, sincerely. I need to be a little bit more serious with my finances. In one form or fashion. That doesn't mean that I'm quitting the podcast anytime soon. It's just I gotta figure out a way to where either I can make it a money-making venture for me, or find a way to put less money into this hobby. Because at this point, until it starts making more money, it's a hobby. And unfortunately, that the easiest way for me to do that is going to be with the thumbnails. And I hate to do that, because you've seen all the incredible thumbnails this podcast has had. In fact, shout out to Tipsy for not only making this episode happen, but also to get the incredible thumbnail done for this episode. But at the same time, they're so expensive sometimes. Which means that, I'm going to have to, unfortunately, this is, for people that are future guests of the podcast or whatnot, I hope you can understand, but also, like, if you can't, do it without some form of payment, or at least, like, that, like, if you're charging, like, a good 100 or so or something like that, I don't even know the exact prices. I still got a lot going on. I got a lot of things I'm stressing about, and I'm slowly but surely working through it in one form or fashion. That could mean that the look of the podcast might be a little bit different. Thumbnails might not be from the artists themselves, or it might just be, I've said this, but it might just be just a simple graphic, something similar to what you see at the end of every episode of the podcast with the fan art and stuff. I'm still working that stuff out. I'll still figure it out, but for now, just know that no matter what, like, until this thing becomes a money-making venture, this thing is a labor of love. This podcast is a labor of love, because I love this opportunity. I love getting the chance to talk to people, and I love being able to get myself out there in one form or fashion through this. But until I can start making money off of this, I have to find ways to where this thing does not... How should I word this? I need to look for ways to make sure that I can still support myself while potentially getting the opportunity at some point to support others. At least that's the hope, but I guess we'll see. But just know, like I said, no matter what happens, this podcast is not going anywhere. I can promise you that. I will still bring on incredible people, and I will still have them talk about the incredible art journeys that they have been on. And I hope you guys can stick with that journey no matter how differently it may look in the near or far future. I've appreciated the love and support you guys have given so far, not only to myself but to all the guests, and I hope we can keep that going no matter what.